Welcome back, my nomads. Welcome back to another Bitcast. Got my boy Duran Harmon with me today. What's good, Duran?
What's going on? How you doing, people?
Chilling, man, chilling. So, Duran, we
Talk to me.
got new information from
What?
Comic Con
Okay.
about Daredevil returning with a new season on Disney Plus.
Long time waiting for you.
You know I'm
Long
hype.
time waiting for you.
You know I'm hype. For those who don't know me, that's my guy. Daredevil's my Marvel guy. I love him to death. That's my guy. So I'm hyped.
You want a true people where like I can sit back and say, you know what, he's not a front runner. I can actually like be excited for you because Daredevil's one of the it's a pioneer in my personal opinion. Like it started all this because I'm not a TV guy at all. Never been a TV guy, but I definitely tune in for the Daredevil though,
Oh
and it
yeah,
made
no
me
doubt.
because of how great of a show it was that now that they announced that it's going to be I think it's like the Reborn or is it what's
Yeah,
it called?
Born Again, I think it said. Yeah, Born Again.
Everybody's hyped because of it started all of it. Like, get me into it. Tell me why you like Daredevil so much. The
Daredevil.
blind ninja.
Exactly. I'm like, yo, if you like ninjas,
Mm-hmm.
this dude takes it to another level. He's blind and he's a ninja. Come on, how can you not like him, bro? Like, you know me, I like street level characters.
Mm-hmm.
Most people you know might like OP characters like Superman. I feel like he's OP, too OP for his own good. Some people like Goku. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I like street level characters. I like people who train hard to get where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're a hero. And Daredevil is one of those guys. Yes, I know people out there. He does have superpowers technically. Technically, he has super hearing, super smell, but
They they kind of like icing on the cake a little bit of his natural other senses. They
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Like the hearing the heartbeat and everything else, but who am I to say that that wasn't real? Like I'm not blind. But to say that other senses cut off, that the other ones are not elevated, I can't speak on that. But you also can focus on that he's also a character. He's not going to go and destroy Thanos by himself. But
Right, right.
he's also going to be like, yo, I can rock with this. Like this man is intelligent. This man's a lawyer. This man is witty.
Yeah.
And like the show, man, the show. We talk about
A
this the first.
masterpiece.
Let's talk about episode one. You please tell me, as a director slash filmmaker legend that you are, why did season one of Netflix? This is Netflix.
Yes.
Catch your attention.
Okay, check this. I might run off on a tangent here, so I
Hey, go for
apologize
it.
in
This is your
advance.
character. This is you. Go for it.
So, at the time that this show came out in 2015 on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. At the time this show came out, roughly pretty much Arrow on CW was like the best comic book slash action show on TV.
I agree.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And I was a big fan of that show because I like street level characters. A guy on the streets with a bow and arrow. It's right up my alley. Same thing with Hawkeye. I like Hawkeye too.
Yeah,
But
great costume.
then Daredevil season one came out and it blew my mind. I was like, yo, we can do this in a TV show now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only was it filmed like a movie, each episode was like a mini movie. The fight scenes were amazing. At the time, Arrow for TV was the best fight scenes. And then Daredevil came out. That hallway scene, which is not episode one,
Episode two.
that hallway scene alone, bruh. I'm like, even in the first episode when he saves the Russian girls
Mm-hmm.
and the shipyard, I'm like, what? We could do this in a TV show now? And I think it changed the landscape for TV, for audiences,
Mm-hmm.
for the industry. Because now shows like Daredevil are a dime a dozen. I mean,
Oh
I don't
yes.
know if you ever heard of Warrior or Westworld. Um, what's it
They
called?
try. HBO Max. Check it out.
HBO Max.
Um.
Warriors on HBO Max too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Watchmen, like all these shows now are filmed like movies and their fight scenes are amazing. amazing. Some of the best fight scenes out now are not from movies, but from TV shows.
See, here's the thing. I'm gonna piggyback off you, okay? So Arrow was like what we all wanted a Batman TV show to be.
Yes.
Its first season was amazing, and I think they were limited because it was
Cable
CW.
network show.
Yeah, I think they didn't have the full potential to keep going on with it, so they went kind of the goofy route. I think executives got in the way. It just did went to a different route. So Daredevil, everybody's okay, cool. Well, let's see what we got. When they put Daredevil in a black, the black mask with the black on, like this man is straight ready to box like the dad. And I also like me rewatching it recently. The sound of most TV shows don't really catch my attention, but rewatching Daredevil, the emphasis of him being blind, how all the senses are increased, the sound effects of all the punches, the actual like the blood splatting of the person screaming, how he can just focus on the senses, it has made you as a viewer like, yo, this is freaking incredible, yo. Like
Yes.
this is what's up. Like I didn't even know that the brittle that you read didn't have a W. I wouldn't have knew that if it wasn't for the
Oh,
show
the
talking
Braille.
about
Yeah,
how
yeah,
yeah, bro,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't even knew that was even
Me
a
neither.
thing. And it's like, yo, it's cool. And then like just seeing the development of him and how the character was from the fight scene, like, yo, listen, I'm not asking for forgiveness. When he's in like the church, he's like, hey, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I gotta save my city.
Yeah.
I gotta save my city. And then from there to how the camera angle was in the hallway and how like it wasn't like it was a one-sided victory where like he has destroyed all them. He got bodied too. He got tackled through the door. It was realistic, and that's what caught my attention. I'm like, yo, this is real. I can deal with this. And the sound and the production of
To
the first
expand on
two,
what you said with the fight
man.
scene, bro. First of all, it was a oneer, meaning there were no cuts in it. I mean, there
Okay.
were cuts, obviously, but they hit it. But to piggyback on what you said, there's video essays online where people who study film and people who are also stunt coordinators talk about why that fight scene was so phenomenal and why it changed the game. Like, he's a regular dude. I mean, yeah, he has super hearing, super smell, super touch,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a regular dude. He doesn't have super strength. He doesn't have super endurance. So he's fighting, and you see in that scene where he's getting tired, and there's one part where he has to use the wall. He goes, oh, to push himself back up and
Yes.
keep fighting. Like it was amazing, and how they did the switcheroo between the stunt guy and Charlie Cox. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was just amazing how everything was seamless, and but just to see the humanity in it, because you watch these fight scenes and you have to dispel your disbelief sometimes, because there's people who will be fighting on and on for like 10
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes, and
You're
yes,
like,
it's
come on,
cool,
bro.
but
Come
they
on.
say the average fight scene, I mean the average real world fight is about 30 seconds, I think they said, just
Mm-hmm.
because the human body can't go past that. So the fact that you see him just getting tired and he's just like, oh
Stumbling everywhere.
yeah, he's
Got the
he's making
wounds going
mistakes
on
and
the ground.
he's like, oh,
I
it's
so I'm gonna tell
crazy.
you why Daredevil. Like I'm more of a Venom and Moon Knight guy. You already know, but
Oh
I
yeah.
can't sit here and say Moon Knight would even happen if it wasn't for Daredevil. And that's how much I'm gonna give the kudos to Daredevil and the Netflix. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but did I just hear a rumor that the same producer is now tagged with this new one? Like they partnered them back up together.
What?
Look
I'm a
into that.
little out of the loop. I'm a
I'm
little out of
pretty
the
sure
loop,
they brought
though.
them back together, which is like you get that with Disney money. I can only imagine what's going to happen. So let's go back into the story of the development, why it was so cool. Not just the fight scenes, Kingpin. So Kingpin is now being seen in Hawkeye. And
Yeah.
for Netflix to even be accepted into the Disney universe, that means you had to hold your ground because Disney had all the resources to this. Yo, I'm gonna put that to the side, start over from fresh. But for you to continue on with knowing that their work was actually meant something and actually worth something,
Yeah,
that
bro.
tells you how incredible this was. Let's look at Kingpin and development of Kingpin, right? This man come through, got the little Russian mob on the side, got the Chinese over here. Just the manipulation slash like gameplay of his wordplay. Like he didn't was a person like a mob boss in the low. Like you didn't say his name. Everyone was scared to say his name. The power he had, and then you saw him find a lady that he was invested
We
into.
don't say his name.
Yes. You see the lady he's invested into, and then he goes to a dinner. He's all shy, and then his dinner gets interrupted, and then you saw the wrath of what happens. My man had the
I had to put my window down for that because one of the greatest Marvel villains, period. Like I remember when that show came out and the first season was done and people was like, Marvel, this is how you write a villain. Because at the
yes,
time Marvel
yes.
villains were lacking in the movies.
True, true.
And then this show came out.
They're
Also, I
very
wanted
Disney.
to tell you, you said earlier that he was running around in black and everything. That's
Hmm.
based on the comic book writer Frank Miller's run of Daredevil, where for the whole comic, I have it here. For the whole comic, he doesn't have a suit. He just has on black sweats and a black bandana covering his eyes. And
So
at
paying
the last
homage.
panel of the comic, he gets the
Hmm.
suit. And they actually followed that. I was like, Frank
Yo.
Miller's a great writer, man. He also wrote The Dark Knight Returns, one of my favorite
Okay.
comics of all time. But yeah, I just had to put that in
So
there,
let's
man.
go into depth more. I'm ask you a question real quick. So
Mm,
from Daredevil season one, from the development of Kingpin to the development of not only Daredevil as the vigilante, but also the lawyer, because he did his work, and the lawyer film showed you that he's about that life on both sides of the coin.
right.
Even when he was like in his lawyer outfit, and then he heard Kingpin and he wanted to chase him, but you still seen the human element that his actual wound opened up and that he couldn't follow.
Yeah.
That's realistic. Most Marvel slash superhero movies you see, you don't really see that side of it. You only see the one sided like monster destroy something or some galactic type stuff. So having a ground level for audience, it definitely brought my attention.
You definitely hit that on the nail because a lot of people like to equate Moon Knight as Batman's Marvel counterpart, but I like to equate Daredevil as Batman's counterpart. Even though
I would
Daredevil doesn't
agree.
have a lot of money, they're kind of similar. And
Hmm.
for me, watching the show and seeing Daredevil's side as a lawyer was equate to, like it's equivalent to me. It's equivalent to people asking at the time, "Oh, we need more Batman. Like for Batman movies, we need to see more of the detective side of him." You know, for me, seeing Daredevil as a lawyer was like seeing Batman as a detective, other than a badass. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that you said he the show was about him being weak at times and his wounds would open up. You don't see that with Batman all the time. You see he's just every night beating up people and oh yeah, there's always a shirtless scene where you see some cuts on him, but you won't
Hmm.
actually see how it affects him. Like in Daredevil, like there's times where he's just like, oh, I can't go on. I gotta meditate.
Oh,
It's like you actually
I,
see that humanity.
I'm about to make you very happy. I'm also about to upset some people, especially a guy named Prince. Um,
Shout
I
out Prince.
shout out Prince, Cardell, the whole squad. I would say that Daredevil's more of an interesting character than Batman.
Woo!
Um, if we were to
Oh,
take away the villains, if you add the villains,
right.
Batman sweeps Daredevil hands down. Batman sweeps everybody if you add the
100%.
villains.
100%.
But if you just go off just the character and the development of the character, Batman is literally a rich boy playing dress up. Um,
You
he
talked
does
about
have
this too after you
he
saw the
does have the
Batman.
detective side to him. He does show that he is intelligent. I get that.
Right.
But as far as like it's almost like he's like godlike level where he's never really beaten up besides Bane, a small part of Bane. He's always untouchable. Versus Daredevil, just in the season alone, if you don't know anything about Daredevil at all, you saw his development, his friendships, how it was crumbling,
Yeah.
how his father played a part in his childhood trauma and how he became older, how the church played a part of it. Um, you also saw that his word meant everything to him. As far as like
Right.
kill anybody, but don't put somebody in a coma when he chopped the fire extinguisher.
And that's because
I
his religion is so
Mhm.
pivotal to his character. It's everything to him. Frank Miller, the writer, even in the comics, made that even more prominent than before. Like the juxtapose between a guy who's a devout Catholic to the same person dressing up as a devil at night, beating up people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's the juxtapose is just amazing. And then on top of that, I just had a brain fart. But you was talking about Batman and Batman. You were talking about how he is and how Bane was only his real like guy that he went against and got beat up. You know,
Yeah.
I would say what you're saying in layman's terms, Batman is the perfect plot armor guy, I guess you could say. You know,
Okay.
plot armor to the 100%. You know, and
Is that what you want
Daredevil.
though?
Hmm?
Is that what you want as a fan? Like, do you want that every time I know what's going to happen?
Not
Like, I feel
really.
like Daredevil might be a scene where Daredevil doesn't win. Like, I'm like, okay, I can see that. Like when
Yeah.
Punisher, I saw that. Like Punisher chained this man up. Like it literally, as breaking news, some of you fans that haven't seen Punisher, Punisher's incredible, but Punisher would not be possible if
Amazing.
Daredevil did not have the success it had, and they actually had a
Yeah.
crossover. And Punisher
Arguably,
put
he
the
stole
works.
the show in the second season. It
Yeah,
was the
he put the
Punisher show, not the Daredevil
yeah,
show.
he,
You
he
know.
put the works in, but I don't see a Batman ever doing that. So I'm not trying to like crap on Batman, but I just want to tell you the development of Daredevil and how it was so realistic that it made you appreciate the character more. And I
Yeah.
am not a Daredevil guy, but I can like, you know what? You want to wear a Daredevil shirt? You cool with my book. I can rock
Ex-
with you a little bit.
exactly, man. He's the dude. For some reason, to go off topic, for some reason, Warner Brothers just can't get Batman right out of the movies. Like any TV show that they do, I'm not talking about the animated series. I'm talking about live action shows.
Hmm.
Whenever Batman's in a live action show, they just can't get him right. I'm looking at you, Titans. I'm looking at you. But like they just, I don't know. Like I'm
Little
looking
one
at
might
you,
get mad at you
Batwoman,
for that.
CW. You know,
My
I'm like,
my goddaughter might get mad at you. She actually likes Titans. Uh, but I agree with you. Even Gotham, just the development of Bruce Wayne's character, they either get the Batman side right or they get the Bruce. Like it never gets the blend. And I feel like Daredevil is a perfect blueprint if they ever wanted to do that, because it shows you that he can, like, you wouldn't even think they're the same character, and that's what you wanted to be. You want to be like, this is like my alter ego. So, and the whole Daredevil development, and even to the Defender series, like all these things are possible because they're all building up off of what Daredevil season one did.
yep.
Like, if you want to even go further with this whole thing, with Comic Con just released some information, She-Hulk is coming out. She-Hulk is going to have a cameo of Daredevil. Why is She-Hulk going to have a cameo of Daredevil? Because Daredevil had put his mark. And Spider-Man, why some people went crazy and people were like, yo, why are everybody clapping? Because it showed Daredevil.
Saw the
Literally.
movie in theaters twice. I went crazy twice.
Yes,
That's
because and it's all started from Netflix. So Netflix, if you ever did one thing right or the billion things you've done wrong, this is one thing you've done right. You did this right.
Ooh.
Iron Fist. I didn't care for Iron Fist, but I watched it because I was potentially amused by the potential Daredevil. That's what it is. Like it's just that's who his character was. He is a centerpiece of the human element of the Marvel
He's
universe.
the Iron Man of the Netflix Marvel division.
Yes,
Just
I'll
like
agree with
Tony
that.
Stark was Tony Stark for the movies. He's the
Tony's a
Iron
little
Man.
overrated, but never mind. Go ahead.
Ooh,
I
we
can go
doing
on
hot
that.
takes today.
I can go on that. I can go on that because I can argue right
I
now
know
that
you can.
Captain America's first three movies, the trilogy, is better than Iron Man's movies.
I agree with you.
Tell me who the Mandarin is. I'll
I
wait.
agree with you.
I'll learn more about the Mandarin and Shang-Chi than I did in actual any Iron Man.
On that note, piggybacking off of what you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a Hollywood writer named Mark Bernardin. Shout out to Mark Bernardin. He said I don't know why Warner Brothers can't get Superman right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to see how to do it right, just look at Captain America the way that Marvel writes him. And I would also say I don't know why Warner Brothers can't get Batman right. I mean, besides the Batman the movie,
Mm-hmm.
all you got to do is look at Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil series.
A little off topic. I think, in my personal opinion as a fan, I think. Well, no, I'm just gonna go all out. I'm sorry, I'm going in. So the reason why I think Batman is a repetitive failure is because they look at him like he's Superman. He's not Superman. And what I mean by that is every single movie he's in, every single
I
book
see
they
what you're
put
saying.
in, they want him to be the shining star.
Plot armor.
Batman, and the reason why people love Batman is because he was the knight. He was fear. He was what people were realistic with the mob and what people do at nighttime. Superman was your golden light and was unrealistic and unapproachable. He's a freaking alien. He's an alien. Okay. We are not attached to him. People who love superpowers like that, yeah, he's super cool. But Batman had that element that, like, yo, I can go outside and be Batman. So when they make these shows, even freaking comic books now, there's like, if I go to a DC comic book section right now, Blue Hand Comics, shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. If I go to right
Yeah,
now, there's 4 Batman books.
yeah,
How many
it's
DC characters
crazy,
are there?
bro.
You have the Dark Knight, you have regular Batman, you have Detective Comics. All these are trying to make 1,000 different Batmans. For what reason? Because you don't even know what his essence is anymore. You don't. So when
That
these
too.
movies come out, these TV shows come out, there's so much they want to choose from, and they want to make their own Batman instead of actually looking at the homework that you already have Batman. Why did people love Batman? Because he was a dark, realistic character, human type element that you could put on a suit and go and do your business. That's why Daredevil people love him, because honestly, besides the blind aspect, he is a realistic character. Superman fails because you want to make him a super godlike character, god tier, a Goku, and that's not what people want all the time. So
It's
I'm just gonna
funny
sit
that you
back there.
say that
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm
because
sorry. I'm sorry. That's Batman irritates me when it comes down to how they had a tremendous character. Like the newest Batman that came out, that is what I want. That's
right,
exactly what I want because it's street level. That's who his character is. Stay within the element of who the character is.
stay in your
Stop
lane.
trying to make him something he's not. The fans love him, and the reason why you're at the point you are is because of what the writers made in the books.
Right.
You don't decide to make a character into the cinema world and completely change him and have no essence at all with the actual character. You're going to lose your fans.
I forgot what
Unless you're
producer
going to lose them.
said. One producer, I forgot who it was, said the difference between Marvel and DC. Marvel hires directors who are Marvel fans, whereas DC hires directors who are just hot right now. And they're not necessarily fans. They read like one or two Batman comics or one or two Superman
That's it.
comics. Then they're like, oh, I'm gonna make a movie. It's
That's it.
like that's probably the issue right there,
I
and it's funny, like what you just said. I just listened to Kevin Smith's podcast, and he talked about back in the early 2000s, late 90s. He said he sat down with the then president of Warner Brothers film division,
uh-huh.
Lorenzo di Bonaventura,
Oh,
who
okay,
went on
okay.
to to produce all the Transformers movies.
Okay.
He sat down with Kevin Smith, was like, "Yo, the thing we don't like about us right now is we're always making Superman and Batman movies, but there's other DC characters. Would you like to head up
Preach.
a division where you only produce comic book movies other than Superman or Batman?" At the time, Kevin Smith turned it down, and he talked about how he kind of wish he didn't, but he kind of glad he did. And I'm like, that shows you that a producer way back then knew that they were overusing Superman and Batman like they're doing now.
So this is go back on Daredevil, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm in my bag today. I'm in my
Yeah, we
bag a
went
little
in our
bit.
bag real quick.
I'm in my bag real quick. So the reason why um I now understand why you like Daredevil more. And rewatching the shows and everything else, Netflix made me feel like I should read a Daredevil book. That's what it made me do because I was like, I don't know much about this character, but now I'm
Right.
interested. And also, it was like a spiderweb effect where spiderweb had one string and then another string, and it makes it stronger. So as things progress in the storyline for Daredevil, the Elektra, the Defenders, now the MCU world, I'm like, yo, this all makes sense. I can
Right.
rock with this. Like when I see this guy, he gonna throw hands, he gonna do work. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but at the same time, he's gonna keep his word and protect his word. When you go to the whole DC universe, you have characters who I personally think are stronger and the personality side, but they just can't get it right because they're so blinded by the money. And I really think it's the money thing because there's a TV show they once had that I thought had a nice little horror slash great storytelling. Great. And they canceled it before episode 4 or 5. Swamp Thing. Swamp
Uh,
Swamp Thing actually had potential because they gave a
yes.
different side to different things. And then what was the season when it actually started getting decent and picking up? Oh, announcement is canceled. Why would I keep watching it? Why would I keep watching that? On top of that, how many Batman ones have there been? In our lifetime, we're young. How many Batman ones have there been?
Dude, it's too much to count. And Swamp Thing, I the only reason I haven't seen Swamp Thing is because I heard how good it was, and then
And
I heard it got canceled. I was like, why would I
they got
watch something I know? And then they chopped when they announced it, they chopped the episode count, so the writers had to scramble and
mhm.
write out like 3 episodes into one or something like
and that's and that's also a part of it that why I was appreciative that Netflix only had the Defenders at the time because it let them focus on building them. I can make fun of Luke Cage all the time, but it gave Luke Cage a chance to develop, Jessica Jones a chance to develop. All these things happened because Daredevil was so freaking good. That's why it happened. Versus like a DC slash how many different TV series has it been? How many different networks have to make control of it? They just say, oh, no one's buying this right now. There's no development. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of that.
that. Might
And
I
that's why you
remind
struggle.
everyone the DC Universe app?
You know me as a fan. I was hyped as a mug. I'm like, yo, it's finally coming out. X, Y, and
You were the
Z.
first one I knew who got it.
And literally it just crashed and burned. Like the story of DC's life. The Rock is what's gonna save them. Period. The Rock is gonna save them because on the Rock you have Doctor Fate, you have Atom Smasher, you have a bunch of characters that's gonna have a chance to shine outside the name of Batman, outside the name of Superman. Just to put out there. But let's get back on to more important things. Can we talk about a villain and Kingpin and how he was able to show his acting skills and how he I remember from CSI. I mean,
Vincent D'Onofrio.
yes, you remember that character. Then you see him with the hair, and then you see him with the bald head, and you see this overall, his skills just took over.
Don't
Can you
forget
please
Men
tell?
in Black. He played the
Yeah,
alien.
yeah, yeah. But
You ever
you
pull the wings off a fly? You ever see a fly get even?
so
It
just
was
tell me as a
crazy.
Daredevil fan when you seen that, and Kingpin is like he reaches a bunch of different shows, a bunch of characters. So how did you feel about that?
I felt amazing. I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio when he was cast, because
Hmm.
at the time I was like, I remember the 2002 movie, 2004 movie, 2003 movie, Daredevil 2003 movie, which we don't really talk about, but they
Yeah.
had a hard time casting a great actor who was big enough for Kingpin, and it ended up being Michael Clark Duncan, you know, and then R.I.P. Then when they announced Vincent D'Onofrio, I was like, "Oh, it's in good hands. He's a great actor, and he's one of those
Hmm.
actors everybody talks about. Christian Bale, Daniel Day Lewis, but he's another actor who, like, physically and mentally transforms into those characters that he plays. So I knew he would put on the weight like he did, and he was just such a good actor in full range. You gotta give it up to him. You gotta give it up to the writers
Yes.
because
Yes.
I can honestly say Kingpin, because these shows are canon, Kingpin is the first great Marvel villain. Because
Okay.
up to that, what was the next one after that? Kingpin? I mean, not Kingpin. Killmonger. Because that was 2015. The show Daredevil, the show,
You
and at the
consider,
time Marvel
yeah,
was still struggling with their
little purple
villains.
Thanos.
Thanos didn't come until he didn't
Yeah,
become
that was
prominent
later.
until later. So he was the
Hit.
first great villain written.
What
And
year was Ultron?
Ultron, oh,
What year was Ultron? Because
2014.
you gotta give him credit.
He was
Ultron.
great.
Ultron.
He was
Yeah.
great. One of the underrated movies. One of the underrated
Yes.
villains. Ah,
So I'm gonna irritate some people today because some people hate that movie.
James
They think it's
Spader. Oh my
trash.
gosh, yo, he deserved an Oscar for that,
They
man.
think that
Like,
movie's trash. It's not.
nah,
It's
man, it's
actually
not.
probably one of the best
It's a
Avengers
gem.
movies.
You know how
Yes.
many times? Oh, that was 2015 too, actually.
Yeah, Ultron. He was
Oh,
marvelous. Marvelous.
but yeah, he should have won an Oscar for that. I'm
Hmm.
just saying. But people want to believe what they want to believe, whatever. But the movie was great. But Kingpin, I still give it up to him. A great show. I mean, now look at these Disney Plus shows. Now they're
Hmm.
basically taken from the blueprint of the Netflix series. You
Yes,
got to give it up to them, like Drew Goddard and all those producers and writers. Like they really took something and made like they really took pressure and made diamonds out of it because they're making a mini movie every like 9-10 days, and it's
I don't.
amazing.
You would know more about this. I don't want to speak. If I'm wrong, I'm just telling I'm wrong. Did Netflix just like give away the whole thing? Because if so, that was really bad. It's a bad idea.
It was a
They give away all
contract.
their rights.
No, it was like a contract where that the reason why after Disney got control, they couldn't build on the Netflix shows is because the Netflix had a contract where the actors and everything like that couldn't do anything for a certain amount of years after the shows were over, which is why
What?
Marvel's like shut them down because we're going to do our own thing and then we can bring them back later because they
Wow.
needed the years of the contract to run out to bring these characters back
Wow. Dude, that's a boss
because
move
they
right
really
there.
wanted to bring everybody the next day, but per the Netflix contract, they
Yeah.
couldn't use those actors or those characters. So they
I,
literally let the time clock out.
I feel like Netflix fumbled the bag on that one. I feel like they should have did some Sony
Well,
stuff
Netflix
like
fumbled the
where
bag on a lot of things, my
yeah,
friend.
but I feel like they definitely fumbled the bag on that because you guys did everything right. You guys literally you birth you birth Marvel slash comic book TV shows on streaming networks. So if we want to say that Arrow was the first big banger, that was regular TV. But for a streaming network, Daredevil was the birth. He's the birth of it. So like
Yeah.
everything afterwards, to the Miss Marvels now, to the Moon Knights, to the She-Hulks that's gonna come out, like all of it was from Netflix Daredevil. And you
And
don't have a
now,
single say about that now?
right. Now, there are many shows that did it like that before Daredevil, but Daredevil is the one that showed the industry as a whole that this could be
What?
done.
Age of the
Now, at to
Shield
the point,
sucked.
like,
What's next? What
now
you got?
at the point now, like like nobody really watches cable network shows like that. If they do, it's for like cops procedurals or something like that. They
Cable's
don't do it
freaking
for.
outrageous right now. Like it's freaking ridiculous for a cable
I
price right now.
mean, cable is CW now. I mean, like it's hard to watch a cable network show now because
Hmm.
everybody's like, no, because cable shoots, directs, I mean shoots, writes, and edits at the same time, whereas
Okay.
these streaming shows write first, shoot, then edit, which is how it should be done like a movie. That's why they seem more complete.
Okay.
So Daredevil changed the game, man, and it's going to continue to change the game, man. I can't wait to see him. I know he's coming with his yellow suit, but it's all right. It's all right. I believe in them. If
Yeah.
Marvel can make Captain America look cool
Whoa,
after
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
Avengers,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down. Because
Winter Soldier, his suit didn't look cool.
his wig was terrible. But that
No,
wig was
I'm talking about the Winter Soldier movie. Captain America's suit wasn't cool.
you don't see what's behind you don't see this? You don't yeah, come on now.
I
Stop
know
playing
that's
with me.
representing for Sam though.
Stop playing with me though. Stop
That's not
playing
for
with me.
Steve Rogers though.
Stop playing with me. First of all, guys, look out. New World Order. It's gonna be a great movie. So it's just well, we'll put
Shout
things
out
in
to
like
Malcolm Spellman who wrote Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he's writing this movie. Shout out to him.
so just to put things in like why people should rewatch Daredevil. You should go now and watch it right now because it is going to make you rethink how TV should be, how episodes should be. It almost makes you feel like you're in a mini movie every time you watch it. And it's so like exhilarating and it's so fun because like yo this man did this man did that, even Foggy like he was doing his thing like it was emotional up and down the friendship. um it just makes you want to appreciate it's not just a Marvel comic book type TV show, and that's the element that If you don't care about comics, my wife Jay does not give a darn about comics. Guess what she's been watching for the past couple of days, bro?
Daredevil, man. Because that's
Yes.
what Daredevil does, man.
Yes. Because I
But
told her
you
I'm gonna do
know,
a podcast with Nigel. I said, yo, I'm gonna rewatch Daredevil, whatever. She's on season 2 right now, B. So when I get done with you, I'm going upstairs. She's probably watching it right now. That just tells you, and she don't give a darn about comics. That tells you how good this thing is. It just
yeah,
tells you
but
that.
that's hey, you heard it from us, man.
Let's make it
Watch
happen.
Daredevil season 1.
Please go
Peace,
watch
my
it.
nomads. This was another great one. Be creative.
Love, peace, and
Peace.
love always.